Hello everybody, it is another beautifully gorgeous day outside, and of course I am stuck in here doing my normal day job, but also talking about grading systems, reading a lot of OFQUAL documents and making these videos, which I very much enjoy, but also really I keep looking out the window because it's gorgeous. It's definitely making it harder to concentrate. I don't know how you're feeling about working from home at the moment as well, but yeah, let me know in the comments below how you are at the moment. So I wanted to make this video because there's been a few updates on the grading process for GCSE and A-Levels 2020 and how those predicted grades are being made by your teacher and the exam centres and the exam boards, etc. How they're being made fair and how the ranking system works more specifically. We've had some guidance from OFQUAL, who the exam regulators come out, which are giving guidance to teachers on how to do that. We've also got an update based on previous studies on how accurate those predicted grades that your teachers and exam boards will be making. If you're already a subscriber to be on the Blackboard, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. I'm Ran. I do at least weekly content on updates on the exam process and giving advice for what you guys should be doing in this crazy social distancing Corona 2020 GCSE and A-level exam time. And I used to be a science teacher, and I essentially try and use my knowledge of the system and research into self-development, etc., and learning theory to help you guys. So if that sounds interesting, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much as well to Raquel Miranda for requesting this video. Here we go. Okay, so first off, I wanted to just give some commentary about how accurate those predicted grades that you receive in August might be compared to what you would have got had you been taking the exams now in the summer. Now, OFQUAL, the exam regulators, previously did an exam study of the accuracy of predicted grades made by teachers for A-level students back in 2013. And what they found was the teacher predicted grades were 78% accurate. Now, these predicted grades were made via a different grading system to the one that we're using now. And the one we're using now, to be honest, is probably a lot more rigorous than the one that was used then. But I think it is interesting to have a bit of comparison between real life results and what your teachers think of you. It's 78% accurate. I'm not going to put any commentary on that number. What do you think about that number? Is that high? Is that low? Does that worry you? Does that reassure you? Let me know below. There's a yapping dog in the background and it's really annoying. Shut up. Why is he so excited? I'm just going to keep talking. Now, it's also interesting that although, as from that 78% figure, most students got accurately predicted, there were two separate groups that were advantaged and disadvantaged to different degrees, and these were called conformist students and Maverick students. Now, conformist students were more likely to be over-predicted, and Maverick students were more likely to be under-predicted. Conformist students are the students that try hard in every single lesson and show progress over time through the test because they work really hard throughout and do basically what's expected of them, all their homework, etc., for school. And in that case, it might be expected that a teacher would be more likely to over-predict what they get, because sometimes those kind of students, when it came to the actual exams, could potentially buckle under the pressure or not perform as well for the actual exams themselves. On the other hand, you have the Maverick students who didn't necessarily try hard consistently throughout the year, but they might have had a last-minute boost of energy and work really hard a couple of months before the exam, and then get grades that they'd never got before for the real thing. And of course, those kind of students might have been under-predicted by their teacher. Now, again, I have to say most students were predicted an accurate grade, but it is interesting to make this differentiation between the two groups of students. Now, second thing I wanted to talk about was that we have some more guidance from OFQUAL, the exam regulators, given to teachers about how to do rankings for students. Now, if you wanted to have a bit of an overview of the 2020 grading system that we're going through at the moment, my most popular video I've ever done is on this, so I'd recommend having a look at that now to get a bit of a background about what I'm talking about. But if not, as a quick summary, this is what the grading system will look like. And in the video I broke it down into 3 simple steps, the grading system for you guys this year. So the first step is your teacher firstly giving you a predicted grade. The second step is then you guys being ranked as an entire year group against each other. And then the third step is those grades going off to the exam boards and then moderation happening to make sure it's fair across the country. Now OFQUAL have released some more information about how step 2 of that process, which is the ranking, will work for your teachers. So I'm going to give an overview of how that ranking system works and a few additional bits of guidance and information they've been given. Now before I start going through that, just bear in mind that this is all guidance. So schools and department heads have been given autonomy of how they do this process, but they've been given suggestions and guidance and guidelines for them to work within in order for them to do it. So this is not how every single school is going to be working, but it is a rough outline of what many schools will be doing and considering. It will give you a bit more of an idea. Okay, so in simple terms, the ranking process where you guys are ranked against each other will work in 3 basic steps. Okay, so number 1, your teacher will rank you guys as a class. So they will give you a predicted grade first, whether anywhere from 0 to 9, and then within each of those predicted grades, they will rank you as a class. Once your teacher has ranked you by class, you'll then be ranked as an entire year group, and at that point all your teachers will come together and rank you within grade boundaries. So let's say there are 15 people in the year who've been ranked as 7. Everyone will still maintain getting a 7 predicted grade, but then you'll be ranked. The 15 of you will be ranked within that grade boundary in terms of the certainty of you receiving that grade. Now this is obviously quite a challenging task because you've all had different teachers and you all have different sets potentially, but at least different classes. So how do teachers do this? Well, they've been encouraged wherever possible to use assessments, common assessments throughout the grades. So you might have had, obviously you've had PPs and mocks, but also you may have had regular assessments that the whole year group took. But if not, they're going to have to collate all the evidence and have a good think about what your work looks like in comparison to each other. But it's by no means an exact science, this. It is them making a professional judgment call. Also bear in mind that higher and lower tiers will all be ranked against each other, so it's not like there'll be a separate ranking for lower and a separate ranking for higher. Everybody's in the same boat. Once all the ranking is done, the department and the school will look at the grades and think, are these representative of what we normally get? Are these significantly lower or higher than the previous years? And will exam boards and exam regulators be suspicious that we've over or underestimated? And in that way they might make a few tweaks here and there as well. Teachers have also been given some considerations that they should make during the process as well. So firstly, your teachers shouldn't be giving you a target grade. It should be an accurate representation of what they think you actually would have got. Teachers are also encouraged to take into account different rates of progress. So I've had a lot of you guys worrying that you used to receive lower grades than you think you would have got in the summer. If you're showing that even if you started, 2 years ago and you're getting 1s and 2s, but you're showing constant progression or even really quick progression in your grades and in your data, teachers will be taking that into account. Teachers are also encouraged to take into account unconscious biases that they may have. Now, unconscious biases are something that I've talked about previously, but these are essentially inbuilt perceptions of people that you might not even know that you're making, whether they're positive or negative, and you might make that through different gender or socio-economic class, or even people who remind you of yourself, you're more likely to be favourable to. pretty much anything that isn't taking into account what you genuinely think. So teachers are very much being encouraged to be very aware of any unconscious biases that they may have without even realizing it when giving you guys the grade. And this goes for as well if some of you guys think that a teacher may not like you or may like someone else more. This is another example of unconscious bias that could skew the results. Teachers are very much being asked to take this into account when making the grades and disregard it. Obviously really difficult to do completely, but it is on the forefront of OFQUAL's mind. Okay, so there's a bit of an update of how the grading system will work for GCSE and A-Level 2020. I really do hope this has been useful for you. If it was, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm basically keeping up to date with all these changes and talking to my teacher network, etc. And gonna be keeping you guys updated all the way through this thing. Another request, if you do think this kind of content or this channel will be useful for your friends, please do feel free to share. It's been brilliant recently. Last week was the biggest subscriber growth I've had. I think I got 70 subscribers in 3 days. That originally took me about 4 months to get. So if you have any mates that you think this channel will be useful for, please do just share it with them and spread the word. And as ever, if you have any more ideas or things that would be useful for you to make a video, please do comment it below. Until next time, see you later.